Welcome, Tarnished. Tonight we wander the lands between, a place where history bleeds into nightmare, and every stone underfoot has drunk more blood than rain. This is not the tale of heroes. There are no victories here worth remembering, only the slow, inevitable pull toward the grave, and the stories carved into the bones along the way. So, sit. Let the fire warm you for just a moment, and listen. This is why you wouldn't last a day in Elden Ring. Some lands are built for the living. The lands between are not among them. This is not a place of warm hearths and safe roads, not a kingdom where the wary traveler can barter a night's shelter for a coin and a smile. No. This is a land ruled by silence and sorrow, where the stones remember every scream they've ever heard, and the trees drink from roots that have wound themselves deep into graves. There is no such thing as mercy here, only delay. The wars that burned across this soil were not fought for freedom, or glory, or even survival. They were fought to claim pieces of a shattered divinity, and every splinter of that power drips with the blood of those who reached for it. The demigods hold what they have taken, not with grace, but with claws, and they are not inclined to share. You are nothing here. A stranger with no claim, no name that will echo in any hall, no past worth remembering. You have only a body that can bleed, and a heart that will stop. And in the lands between, both are little more than currency. So, why would you not last a day here? Because here, a day is a gift, and you, Tarnished, are owed nothing. The chapel's air still clings to you, damp and heavy with the stale scent of stone and forgotten incense. When you step outside, the world greets you with a sky the color of dying embers. It is neither night nor day, just that strange hour when shadows stretch long enough to trip you. The soil underfoot is soft, not the softness of spring meadows, but the kind you find in places where the earth has been fed. And here, it has been fed well. Limgrave spreads out before you in waves of grass and stone, a green mask stretched over a corpse's face. The wind is low, but it sounds the clink of metal far away, the hollow cry of something with too many teeth, and the distant thunder of hooves. Somewhere, far to the south, the Erd tree looms, impossibly vast, impossibly alive. Its golden light spills across the land like an open wound. You will think it beautiful. You will be wrong. You will walk the road because it feels safe. Roads are meant to connect, to guide, to promise arrival. But here, the road is bait. It leads you toward your first death with the gentle patience of a noose tightening. The grass parts ahead. Armor glints in the dying light. Atop a pale steed sits a figure wrapped in gold, his spear as long as a pine and twice as unforgiving. The tree sentinel. He is not a patrol. He is not a guard. He is a warning. You will think you can pass unseen. You will step aside into the tall grass, holding your breath as though that matters. The horse will not turn. The rider will not move. And then, without sound, without signal, he will be upon you. The world will become nothing but gold and dust, and the wet crack of your bones against the earth. When you wake, the chapel will be behind you again. The world will be the same, but you will be different. A little more careful, a little more afraid. It will not save you. If you avoid him, if you hug the edges of the land and slink past his gaze, the road will take you north. The gatefront ruins will rise before you, their shattered walls like broken ribs, jutting toward the sky. Inside, soldiers move with the ease of men who know their ground. Their armor catches the light in short, sharp flashes, like the glint of teeth in a predator's grin. You might think you can take them one at a time. You cannot. They will come in pairs, in threes, and when the horn sounds, in dozens. And you will learn something quickly. A single mistake here is not a wound. It is a death sentence. Should you turn from the road and seek the hills, you will find caves hidden in the folds of the land. Their mouths yawn wide, dark and damp, breathing out air that smells of wet stone and something older. Something that once had flesh. The wolves will greet you here, though not with howls. The first one will drop from the shadows above, its weight slamming you into the earth. You will feel its breath before you feel its teeth. Then you will hear the others, the shuffle of claws on stone, the low growls that hum in your bones. The cave does not let you leave without cost. When you emerge, if you emerge, the light will feel wrong. The sun will have shifted, the shadows longer, the air cooler. And somewhere, high on a hill, a figure will stand, wrapped in tattered cloth, face hidden, posture bent as though the weight of centuries hangs on its shoulders. It will not wave. It will not speak. It will only watch. And when you look away, it will be gone. You will tell yourself you imagined it. That the hours in the cave, the wolves, the dark, have left you seeing shapes where there are none. You will not be entirely wrong. But here, the imagination is not an escape. It is a warning. The hill will remain quiet and empty, its grass whispering against the stone. Yet you will feel the weight of unseen eyes, tracing the line of your back as you move. The wind will shift, and in it, a faint, wet cough. Too far to be human, too close to be ignored. You will walk faster. The land dips, and before you stretches a shallow valley. It is littered with broken wagons, their wheels half buried in the mud, cargo long since stolen or devoured. The bones of pack animals lie twisted, ribs splayed like the fingers of a pleading hand. Whatever happened here did not happen quickly. You will see footprints in the mud, too large for a man, too irregular for a horse. The trail leads toward a half-toppled bridge. Beneath it, the water moves sluggishly, thick with silt, carrying away scraps of something pale. You will not want to look closer. You will anyway. You will regret it. Past the bridge, the air grows heavier. Not colder, not warmer, just thick, like the breath of something watching from very close by. The trees here have grown strange, their trunks twisted, their bark split in long, wet seams that leak a sap the color of old honey. Flies dance above the wounds, their drone masking other, softer sounds beneath. And then a voice, faint, cracked, calling for help. You will follow it. Of course you will. It will lead you into a clearing, where the grass is flattened in a wide circle, the center churned to dark mud. You will see nothing at first, just the shapes of trees, the whisper of wind. Then the voice will come again, and you will look down. The man is on his knees, his face pale, his hands bound. His eyes will plead, but not for life, for speed. His lips will form the words, behind you, and then the clearing will shift. The wind will stop, the birds will go silent, and something will rise from the grass. It will be tall enough to block the light. Its body will move in ways you will not understand, bending where it should not bend, twisting where it should break. The smell will reach you before the sound, wet iron and rot. The scent of blood left too long in the heat. You will not see its face, only the pale stretch of skin, where a face might have been, the hint of something moving beneath it, like worms in soil. It will not roar, it will not hiss. It will simply step toward you. The bound man will scream. You will run. The path will take you toward the cliffs again. The sea will open beneath you, dark and endless. waves pounding against the rocks like fists. The wind here is stronger, tearing at your cloak, carrying the salt into your eyes. And far out, on the horizon, something vast will move beneath the water. A shadow so large it dwarfs the ships rotting along the coast. You will not stay to see its surface. Instead, you will find the remnants of another camp. Tents torn open, their stakes still driven into the ground, bedrolls soaked through with rain and something thicker. The campfire is cold, but the ashes are not. Whatever happened here happened moments ago. You will hear movement. You will pray it is human. It will not be. The dog will emerge from behind the tents. Or something that was once a dog. Its body stretched thin, ribs sharp under its skin, eyes sunken and milky. It will move without hesitation, without fear, without the pause of instinct that even wild beasts show. You will draw your weapon. It will not matter. The first lunge will knock you into the mud. The second will tear through your armor. And then, before the third, something will strike it from the side. A figure, cloaked and hooded, blade flashing once, twice. The dog will collapse in silence, its blood steaming in the cool air. The figure will not turn to you. It will kneel beside the carcass, pressing a gloved hand to its head, whispering something low. A prayer, perhaps, or a warning. Then it will stand, sheathe its weapon, and walk away without a word. You will want to follow. You will not. The sky will darken. Not with night, but with cloud. Heavy, low, the kind that carries a storm. The first drops will fall warm, staining the ground a darker shade. The wind will carry a scent that is not rain. And somewhere, far behind you, the voice from the clearing will call again. Only this time, it will say your name. You will not turn around. You will not have to. Because when the next drop falls, it will land on your shoulder. The rain does not stop. It comes in sheets now, slanting under the wind, needling through cloak and armor, finding every gap in your resolve. The road south is nothing more than mud and memory, the ghosts of wagon tracks long since swallowed by the earth. Behind you, Limgrave fades into mist. Ahead, the land narrows into a neck of stone and wood, funneling you toward a great gate. It rises out of the rain like a fortress carved from grief. The soldiers here are not the same as those at gatefront. Their armor is darker, their eyes duller. They do not shout, do not brandish weapons in challenge. They simply stand, unmoving, as though waiting for something to give them purpose again. When you approach, one will speak. His voice will rasp, as though dragged over stone. He will not tell you to turn back. He will tell you to go on. And that is how you will know it is a trap. The bridge is long. Too long. Its stones are slick with rain, and the wind drives up from the chasm below, carrying with it the smell of salt and rot. Halfway across, you will notice the stains, dark, almost black, seeping into the cracks between the stones. They are old, and they are not from rust. The first arrow will not hit you. It will hiss past your ear, carrying with it the sound of laughter. Not loud, but enough to tell you that you are seen. The second will graze your arm, a line of fire against your skin. The third you will not see. You will only feel the world tilt. Your legs give way, your palms scrape against wet stone as you scramble for cover. They will not chase you. They will not need to. On the far side of the bridge, the land changes. The grass here is shorter, the soil darker, the air heavier. The trees twist not from age, but from something in the ground that will not let them grow straight. The Erdtree's light still reaches here, but it is thin, as though reluctant to touch this place. This is the Weeping Peninsula. It does not welcome you. You will see it before you hear it. A great, jagged shape rising from the edge of the land, its towers leaning like broken teeth. Castle Morn. Once a seat of power, now little more than a grave piled high enough to block the wind. As you draw closer, the noise will reach you. Not the clang of battle, but the deep, rolling roar of something large and something angry. The gates hang open, chains snapped like twigs. Inside, shapes move in the gloom. Hunched, broad-shouldered, dragging blades too large to be practical. They are misbegotten, and they are not fighting for gold, or glory, or Godric's will. They are fighting because it is the only language left to them. You may try to pass unseen. You will fail. The first one will smell you before it sees you. The second will hear your boots on the wet stone. By the time you see the third, the others will already be moving. And then the courtyard will close around you, the rain mixing with blood. Yours, theirs, it will not matter. If you escape, it will not be because you were stronger. It will be because they let you. To the west, the cliffs drop into the ocean. The waves crash against them with the rhythm of a giant's heartbeat. The path here is narrow, carved by feet that have long since turned to dust. Along the way, you will find the remains of a caravan. Wheels half buried, chests split open, their contents scattered and soaked. You will think yourself lucky to find no bodies. You will be wrong. The gulls circling overhead are not here for the fish. The smell will follow you for the rest of the day. Scattered along the southern coast are small stone shrines, their faces worn smooth by salt and wind. Some hold offerings, coins, flowers, trinkets carved from bone. Others hold nothing but ash. One shrine will hold something else. Ahead, it will be fresh enough that the eyes are still open, staring at something you cannot see. The mouth will be twisted, not in fear, but in surprise. You will know, without touching it, that it was placed here with care. And you will know, without doubt, that the one who placed it is still nearby. By the time the sun dips, the wind will have grown colder. The rain will ease, replaced by a heavy mist that rolls in from the sea. It will cling to you, making every sound damp and close. You will light a torch. It will not help. The first shape will appear at the edge of the light, too tall, too still. Then another, and another, until you are surrounded. They will not move until you do. And when you take that first step, they will close in without a sound. If you fight, you will die here. If you run, you may live long enough to see the walls of Castle Morn again. But you will not sleep tonight. You will leave the Weeping Peninsula behind you, though it will not leave you. The smell of salt and rot will cling to your armor, the damp in your bones making every step heavier. The road north narrows, hemmed in by cliffs on one side and a drop into mist on the other. The stones are slick, worn by centuries of rain and the boots of soldiers who never returned from where you are going. At the crest, the land opens again, but it is not the limgrave you left. The air here is thicker, the wind slower, and somewhere far ahead, there is the faint sound of water. They do not rise from the earth like defenses. They lean like the ribs of something long dead, half buried in the soil. Most grows thick on the stone, swallowing the carvings until only hints of their meaning remain. The curve of a serpent, the edge of a crown. You will pass through them, and the world will change. The land will fall away in wide, gentle slopes toward a vast expanse of water. The lake stretches to the horizon, its surface silver and still, broken only by the dark shapes of ruins and the faint ripple of something moving beneath. Closer to shore, the land is not solid. It sucks at your boots, pulling you down with every step. The air smells of wet stone and stagnant pools, and the silence here is almost complete. Almost. You will see the first drowned house half, collapsed into the shallows, its roof broken, walls leaning inward like clasped hands. The door hangs open, and inside, the water reaches your knees. Furniture floats in lazy circles. A chair, a table, a child's toy carved from bone. When you turn to leave, you will see them in the water outside. 3 pale shapes. Still, watching. They will not follow you to shore. The deeper you go, the thicker it becomes. It clings to the surface of the lake, curling around the ruins, hiding the shoreline. It will play tricks on your eyes, making you think you see buildings where there are none, fires that vanish when you approach, people standing just beyond reach. One of them will wave to you. If you answer, the water will shift. The figure will sink, and you will understand that it was never on the shore at all. On the western bank, stone steps climb toward the great gate of the Raya Lucaria Academy. The doors are shut, their blue wards humming faintly in the damp air. You will not enter here, not yet. But you will feel the eyes from the walls. The students, the mages, the ones who have traded warmth and flesh for knowledge they cannot hold. They will not speak to you. They will not need to. You will feel their judgment in the weight of the air. If you take a boat, and you should not, you will learn that the lake is not deep everywhere. In some places, your oar will strike stone. In others, it will strike something that moves. There are things here that swim slowly, just below the surface, their backs breaking the water in long, smooth arcs. You will never see a head, never a tail, only the curve of something vast, moving with purpose. Once, your oar will catch on something soft. It will pull back, and you will hear a sound, low and deep, rising from the water like a question you do not want to answer. Near the center of the lake, there is a tower. Its base is hidden, sunk into the water, but the upper floors still stand. A bell hangs there, green with age, its surface etched with runes you cannot read. It will ring once as you approach. Not loud, not clear, but enough to make the water around you ripple outward. You will not stay to see what answers, but the sound will follow you. It will echo across the water, threading itself between the ruined spires and hollow shells of sunken halls. The ripples it called up will not fade quickly. They will circle, stretch, and vanish into the mist. And still, you will feel the weight of something beneath you. Not chasing, not rising, but watching. The boat will seem smaller now, the oar heavier. Every push against the water will feel as though the lake itself is resisting, holding you in place. The shore will not grow closer. You will not remember when you stopped breathing through your nose, only that your mouth is dry and every breath feels stolen. Far to your right, a roof breaks the surface. Just the tip, slate tiles slick with algae. A chimney leans at a sharp angle, dripping lake water in a slow, steady rhythm. The mist thins for a moment, and you will see that the roof belongs to a manor. Its windows are dark, but intact, and from within, there is light. It will flicker once, then twice, then die. You will tell yourself it was a reflection. You will know it was not. As you pass, something brushes the underside of the boat. It will not feel like a fish. It will not feel like anything you can name. You will row faster. The oar will dip too deep, catch on something solid. For a moment, you will think it's stone, until it moves. The surface will break beside you, just enough for you to see a smooth, pale curve, water running in rivulets down its side. It will sink again without sound, leaving only rings in the water, and a silence that seems deeper than before. The mist will thicken once more, swallowing distance, flattening sound, and then, faintly, you will hear it music. It will come from somewhere ahead, soft and slow, like the strings of an instrument being plucked underwater. It will not be a song, you know, but it will feel familiar, as though you have heard it in a dream you cannot fully remember. You will follow it. Of course you will. The sound will lead you to another tower, this one leaning at an impossible angle, its base cracked, its stones mottled with moss and barnacles. The water around it is darker, thicker, as if holding the shadow of the tower within itself. At the top of the slanted structure, you will see a figure, long hair pale against the dark stone, skin that seems untouched by the sun. She will be sitting on the ledge, legs crossed, head bowed over the instrument in her hands. Her fingers will move with slow precision, and every note will reach you as though carried by something other than wind. She will not look up. You will not see her face, and you will not notice the shapes rising in the water behind you until they are close enough to touch the stern of the boat. They will not splash. They will not churn the water. They will rise in silence, their heads breaking the surface. Heads too narrow, eyes too wide, mouths that open just a little too far. Their skin will be the green of drowned flesh, their hair drifting in the water like weed. One will reach for the side of the boat. Its fingers will be long, jointed oddly, tipped with nails like shards of shell. The wood will creak under their grip. Another will surface beside it, tilting its head to watch you with eyes that do not blink. The music will not stop. You will push the oar into the water, but it will feel as though the lake has turned to syrup. The creatures will not climb aboard. They will simply hold the boat in place, letting the ripples fade, letting the mist close in. The figure atop the tower will pause in her playing. She will raise her head, and she will smile. It will not be the smile of someone greeting a friend. When she plucks the next string, the creatures will release you. The boat will drift backward, away from the tower, the current pulling you without your effort. The music will fade, though you will feel it still in your bones, in the space between your breaths. You will not return to that part of the lake. You will not need to. The shore will meet you at last, a slope of black mud and twisted reeds. Your boots will sink with each step, the muck tugging as though reluctant to let you go. The trees here are bare, their branches bent low over the water, as if listening to something beneath. You will find a path leading inland, cobblestones cracked and uneven. It will wind between the remains of walls, their mortar bleeding green from years of rain. The air will feel warmer here, though not enough to bring comfort. It will smell faintly of oil and something sweet, cloying, almost pleasant if not for the undertone of rot. A lantern will swing ahead, hanging from a post that leans under its own weight. Beneath it, a man will stand, or what remains of one. His skin will be tight on his skull, his eyes sunk deep, his lips pale and dry. Yet when he speaks, his voice will be clear. "Turn back," he will say, and then, softer, "Or she will see you again." You will want to ask who she is, but the man will already be gone. Beyond the lantern, the path will split. To the left, the stones descend toward the lake again. To the right, they climb into the hills, toward shapes you cannot make out through the mist. The wind will push you toward the climb, and you will follow, if only to be further from the water. The hills will be quiet, too quiet. The ground will be soft, giving slightly under your steps, and when you kneel to touch it, you will find it damp. not from rain, from something that seeped up from below. At the crest, you will see them, a ring of stones, taller than a man, their surfaces etched with spirals and lines you cannot read. At the center, a pool no larger than a shield, its surface still and dark. The moment you look into it, you will feel the water shift, not in the pool, in the lake far below. And you will understand that this place is not outside the lake. It is part of it. If you lean closer, the surface will ripple, not from your breath, from something else, something that has seen you from much farther away, and somewhere, faint but certain, you will hear a bell. Not the one you passed before, a deeper one. The path to the Altus Plateau is not given. It is taken in blood, in breath, in the weight of every step up the mountain pass. The air thins here, growing dry and sharp. The damp of Liarnia falls away like a dream you barely remember upon waking, replaced by dust and the faint shimmer of golden light that settles on your skin. The Erd tree looms closer now, its branches twisting across the sky like the veins of a dying giant. Behind you, the lake is a silver smear, the mist already closing over the places you survived. Ahead, the road is carved into the cliff itself, each stone step worn by centuries of soldiers, pilgrims, and the condemned. You will see it before you understand it. Two towers, rising from the cliffside, their tops lost in the clouds, joined by a vast platform of stone and chain. This is the grand lift of Dectus, and it does not move for the living. To ride it, you will need the halves of a medallion. The left will be found on a hill guarded by men whose eyes do not blink. The right lies deep in a fortress where the wind never stops screaming. Each half will cost you. In time, in blood, in the realization that the lift does not care who you are or how you came to stand upon it. When you raise the medallion, the chains will groan, the gears will turn, and the ground will fall away beneath you. The ascent will be slow, almost reverent, as though the lift itself is measuring your worth. At the top, the light will blind you. Altus is not a land of shadow and damp. It is a land of dust, of gold, of air so still you can hear your own heartbeat. The grass grows tall here, dry and brittle, whispering with every shift of wind. The sky is clear, the sun sharp, and everywhere, in the distance, the Erd tree watches. The first thing you will notice is the silence, not the soft, heavy quiet of Liurnia, but a hollow, ringing emptiness, as though sound itself has been blood from the air. The second thing you will notice is that you are not alone. They will ride the roads in pairs, their armor a gleaming white, gold that catches the sun like fire. Their spears are longer than your body, their shields engraved with the symbols of a faith that does not recognize you. They will not call out when they see you. They will simply lower their spears and ride. You will think you can run. You will not be wrong, but the sound of hooves will follow you for longer than they should, echoing off the hills, even when no riders remain. If you stray from the main road, you will find them, clusters of windmills standing tall against the horizon, their sails turning slow in the golden air. From a distance, they will seem peaceful. But as you draw closer, you will hear the music, flutes, drums, the low hum of voices. The villagers will be dancing, their faces painted white, their clothes clean but tattered, their feet moving in slow, deliberate steps. They will not acknowledge you. They will not stop. In the center of the square, a shape lies covered in cloth. It will be too long to be anything but a body. The cloth will shift with the wind. You will not see what is beneath. You will not need to. If you stay too long, the dancers will begin to turn toward you, one by one, without breaking step. and you will leave because you will not want to know what happens when the dance ends. The road to Laydell is flanked by walls taller than any fortress you have seen. They are not built to keep things out. They are built to keep things in. At the gates, soldiers stand in perfect silence, their eyes hidden behind visors, their hands resting on blades that gleam without a speck of rust. They will not speak when you pass. But you will feel the air grow heavier, as though you are stepping into a mouth that has just taken its first breath in years. It will open before you like a vision, streets paved in gold, fountains frozen mid-splash, trees heavy with leaves that shimmer in the light. The air smells faintly of incense, of stone warmed by the sun, of something sweet and cloying beneath it all. The city is beautiful, and it is dead. You will hear no laughter, no market cries, no footsteps but your own. But in the corners of your vision, something will move. A figure stepping into a doorway, a shadow passing along a wall. When you turn, there will be nothing there. In the plaza before the great staircase, you will meet him. His armor is cracked, but still gleams, his weapon a spear large enough to pierce a cathedral wall. He will not charge. He will simply step toward you, each movement slow, deliberate, unstoppable. The fight will end quickly, one way or another. If you fall, the stones will be the last thing you feel. If you win, the silence will return, deeper now, as though the city is watching. At the heart of Lendell, the staircase rises toward the Erd tree. Its roots coil around the stone like the fingers of a god, their surfaces smooth and warm to the touch. But the path is blocked. By thorns, by walls, by something unseen that makes the air shimmer when you try to approach. And from somewhere high above, you will hear a voice. It will not be loud. It will not be kind. It will say your name, not as you know it, not in the voice of any friend or foe you have met. It will shape it into something older, something heavier, as if it has carried that name in its mouth for centuries, waiting for the moment to let it fall. You will not know how it knows you. You will not want to know. The sound will echo through the capital, threading itself between the spires and over the rooftops, until it is impossible to tell where it came from. You will turn in circles, eyes darting to windows, to alleys, to the roots themselves. Nothing will move. You will step back from the staircase, not because you choose to, but because the air will press against your chest like a hand, pushing you away. The roots of the Erd tree will seem to shift, not physically, but in the way your eyes cannot quite fix on them, as though they are too close and too far all at once. When you blink, you will find yourself at the base of the hill again. You will not remember walking there. The street ahead will be empty. Then, without warning, you will hear the slow, rhythmic beat of drums. The sound will come from around the bend, growing louder, closer. And then they will appear. A line of figures, tall and skeletal, draped in robes the color of ash. Each carries a staff topped with a burning brazier, the flames throwing long shadows across the golden stones. They will march in perfect step, their heads bowed, their faces hidden behind masks of beaten gold. You will press yourself against the wall as they pass, but they will not turn toward you. Until the last one. It will stop. Slowly, it will raise its head, and behind the mask, you will see no eyes. Only darkness, deep and endless. You will not move. You will not breathe. Then, without a word, it will turn and follow the others. The drums will fade. You will find it by accident. A doorway left open, the scent of cold ashes drifting out. Inside, long tables stretch the length of the hall, set with plates and goblets that have not been touched in years. Dust lies thick across the silver, and yet the chairs are all pushed neatly in. At the far end, a great chair sits empty, a crown resting on the table before it. You will not approach. From somewhere above, you will hear a faint scraping sound. Footsteps dragging across the floor. You will look up. There is no balcony, no second floor. The sound will stop when you listen for it. It will return when you do not. Beyond the feast hall, the streets open onto a vast courtyard ringed with statues. They are all of the same man, a king, his face stern, his eyes cast down as if judging those who walk here. The likeness is perfect in every carving, save for one detail in each statue. The mouth is slightly different. In the first, it is closed. In the second, slightly open. By the 10th, the mouth is twisted into a silent scream. You will not look at the last statue. Rows of gravestones stretch beyond the statues, each one marked with runes too worn to read. The ground is uneven, the air heavy with the smell of rain on stone. Though no rain has fallen, as you pass between the graves, you will feel the ground shift beneath you. Not sink, not collapse. Shift, as though something below has turned over in its sleep. The path will lead you to a smaller staircase, flanked by walls thick with ivy. At the top stands a gate of black iron, its bars twisted into shapes that might be vines or might be something with claws. In front of it stands the guardian. It is not a man, not anymore. Its armor is fused to its flesh, gold and bone melding in grotesque spirals. Its eyes glow faintly, but the light is not warm. It holds no weapon. Yet every step it takes toward you will make the space between you feel smaller, tighter. If you raise your blade, it will not flinch. If you run, it will not follow. But when you turn your back on it, you will hear the gate open. Beyond the gate, the air grows hotter, heavier. The street is narrow, the buildings close, their walls leaning inward as though trying to shut out the sky. You will hear whispers here. Dozens of voices, speaking at once, too low to make out the words. Sometimes they will come from behind you, sometimes from ahead. Once, you will swear you hear them inside your head. You will not find the source. At the far end, the street opens into another courtyard, smaller, but lined with doors. All of them are shut. All of them are locked. But from behind one, you will hear a slow, steady breathing. You will not knock. You will climb again, following the curve of the outer wall. Above you, the Erd tree's branches fill the sky, their golden light so close now that it turns the air to dust. Then you will hear bells. Not one, but many. A chaotic chorus ringing from different directions, at different speeds, as though the whole city is tolling at once. They will not stop when you cover your ears. They will not grow fainter when you run. And as you reach the final staircase, the bells will all fall silent in the same breath. At the top, you will stand before another gate, smaller than the others, but set into stone older than the city itself. There are no guards here, no locks, no chains. Only the faint shimmer in the air that you felt at the base of the Erd tree. You will step forward. And from the other side, a voice will speak. It will not say your name this time. It will say, "Come closer." The voice has called you through the gate, and so you go, not because you trust it, not because you have no choice, but because in the lands between, there is nowhere else to go. The shimmer in the air clings to your skin as you pass, a warmth that seeps into your bones. Not comforting, but heavy, like the press of soil above a buried coffin. On the other side, the light changes. The gold is deeper here, richer, and the air tastes of resin and ash. The roots of the Erd tree twist in every direction, some as wide as streets, others thin and sharp enough to cut flesh. They hum faintly, a sound you feel more than hear, like the slow heartbeat of something too large to kill. You follow the curve of the first route upward, the surface rough beneath your boots, sap gleaming in its cracks. It leads you toward an arch of living wood, its interior lined with carvings so old they've blurred into shapes that might be faces, or might be nothing at all. Inside, the air is cooler, but it stinks of decay. Not fresh, but ancient, layered over itself 1,000 times. You will think of tombs. You will not be wrong. Halfway through, the light dims, and the walls close in. Something moves in the dark ahead, slow and deliberate. The shape is wrong for a man, wrong for a beast. And when it breathes, the air grows damp, clinging to your face like a shroud. You will not fight here. You will leave. Quickly. The route spills you out into a chamber, unlike anything in Lendel. A place without gold, without marble, without the trappings of a city. Here, the walls are bark, the floor soft with moss. The air glows faintly, but you see no source for it. At the center lies a pool, its surface still as glass. Lean closer, and you will see yourself reflected there, but older, weary, wounded. And behind your reflection, someone will stand. You will turn. There will be no one. Past the chamber, the roots narrow again, twisting upward, like the stairs of a tower that has no end. The air is hotter now, the hum louder, resonating in your teeth. And then they will appear. Figures of bark and branch, their limbs too long, their heads split into antler, like crowns. They move without sound, without breath, their steps sinking slightly into the root beneath them. They will not rush you. They will simply advance, each one forcing you further upward, until you are no longer sure whether you are climbing or being herded. You emerge into a space that feels open, but is not. The sky here is pale, almost white, with no sun and no clouds. The ground is root and soil, curving upward into shapes that mimic hills, though you know they are not. In the distance stands a figure. Tall, robed in white, its back to you. When you call out, it will not move. When you approach, it will not turn. Only when you are close enough to touch its shoulder will it vanish, the robe collapsing into a heap on the ground. From the folds of fabric, a voice will rise. It will be your own. It will be laughing. Another arch of root awaits you here, taller than any before. Beyond it, the light grows almost blinding, the gold so intense it makes the edges of your vision burn. You will step through, because there is no other way. And there, at last, you will see at the base of the Erd tree. Its trunk towers above, a wall of living wood that seems to stretch beyond the sky. The roots here are thicker than houses, the air filled with drifting motes of golden dust that cling to your skin, your eyes, your tongue. The ground trembles beneath your feet. From somewhere far above, a voice will speak again. It will be neither kind nor cruel, only certain. It will tell you that you are too late. You will look up, but the light will blind you. The hum in the roots will grow louder, the air heavier, until each breath feels like swallowing molten gold. The voice will not repeat itself. It will not need to, because in this place, beneath this tree, you will finally understand the lands between were never meant to let you leave. When the ground breaks, it will happen without warning. One moment you stand before the Erd tree, the next, the root beneath you splits, the world tilting as you are hurled into the dark. You will fall for so long that you will forget what standing felt like. You will pass roots and chambers and walls of stone slick with water until you land. Softly, impossibly, in a place where the light is not gold, but deep, cold blue. The air smells of earth and river water. The hum is gone, and in the silence, you will hear something else. Footsteps. Yours. But you are not moving. The footsteps will come from the water's edge, soft and regular, as if someone is pacing just beneath the surface. You will wait for the ripples. None will come. The chamber around you is a hollow carved by time, and something older than time. Stalactites hang like teeth from a jaw that forgot how to close. The blue light isn't a torch or a crystal. It rises from the air itself, as though the stone learned to glow after centuries of swallowing the sun. The river moves without sound, a sheet of ink that remembers stars it has never seen. Breathe, you will tell yourself, as if the word were a rope thrown down into your lungs. You will. It won't help. Across the water, something glitters, not gold. Quicker than gold, more liquid. A thread of silver unwinds from the dark and gathers itself into a shape: shoulder, arm, face. Your face. The outline's slick and perfect, as if a mirror stepped away from its wall and learned to walk. It tilts its head when you do. It studies you with an interest you have never earned. Your hand will rise. So will its. You will not wave. Neither will it. Behind you, the stone sighs. The sound is low, like a millstone turning somewhere far underground. You turn. When you look back to the river, the silver shape is gone. Not sunk, not flood. Gone like a thought you were certain you had. You move. Slowly. Each step is a negotiation with the ground. I will not fall if you do not give. The path hugs the rock, narrowing to the width of a blade, then widening enough for the comfort of 2 feet and a lie. The water keeps pace, sliding beside you, an escort that never intends to save you. The first statue appears where the ceiling dips, an ancient king carved from a vein of night, one hand lifted, palm open, as if promising or warning or pleading. A crown of thorns circles his brow, not metal but stone twisted, until it forgot it had ever been straight. At his feet, offerings have been left: a broken helm, a braid of hair bound with wire, a ring swallowed by lichen, until it can no longer be worn by anything alive. The ring is warm when you touch it. You will drop it anyway. The path descends into a forest that is not a forest. Petrified trunks rear from the floor, their bark striated with minerals, their roots fused into the bedrock like veins in a giant hand. Between them, pale fungi bloom, round and glassy, each one holding a drop of blue light like an eye that refuses to blink. A wind you cannot feel moves the shadows. The shadows oblige. It takes you too long to notice the web. Not silk. Metal. Drawn thin as breath and strung from trunk to trunk. It hums softly, catching the light the way a knife catches intention. On one strand, a single droplet hangs, quicksilver trembling, round as a tear. It quivers when you step close, as though your name has weight and it can feel it. You will put out your hand. You will not know why. The droplet touches your fingertip. It is cold, then warm, then gone. From deeper in the grove, a chitter answers. Ants, you think, until you see the scale, segments like barrels, mandibles like sickles sharpened against the ages. They move with the purpose of a calendar, slow and inevitable, each footfall a page turned. You do not matter to them until you do. Their eyes do not shine. They do not need to. You will step sideways into a cut in the rock. The ants will continue, a pilgrim train carrying a queen you hope you never see. The smell they leave behind is bitter, like old smoke and old honey, a memory of summer rotted down to sugar and ash. Beyond the grove, the world opens without warning. The ceiling lifts into distance. The river splits into threads and braids itself into a city, streets of obsidian, bridges like frozen arcs of rain, towers with windows that face nothing but the underground sky. Stars are painted there, or perhaps not painted. Perhaps this is where stars come to rest, when they are too tired to burn. A staircase spills from a plaza to your feet, each step worn to a dish by the tread of a people who do not walk here anymore. Lanterns of glass hang unlit. Their filaments glow anyway, fed by no oil you can name. In the center of the plaza rises a machine of prayer and measurement, stone rings, nested within stone rings, turning so slowly you cannot swear they move at all. A bell sits at its heart, black as a thought you should not have had. It rings once. You do not hear the sound with your ears. When you stand within the rings, time forgets to pass. Dust hangs, then decides not to settle. Your breath enters and does not return. You understand, only for a moment, only in the way a fever understands the body it burns. That this place kept the sky alive beneath the ground, and that the sky did not thank it. At the far edge of the plaza, stairs descend into a hall lined with statues of women who never quite finish looking away. Their faces are smooth, where tears would have been. In their hands they hold spheres, some cracked and empty, some full of a dark that is thicker than absence. You do not stop to count them. Counting would mean you plan to return and write the number down. The hall ends at a door of root grown from stone. It has no handle, no seam. Still, it breathes. The air that leaks through is warmer, sweeter, edged with a bitterness that makes your tongue ache. When you press your palm to it, the wood pulses once beneath your skin. Welcome or warning, heartbeat or hunger. It opens. Not outward, not inward. It opens the way sleep opens, by closing around what you were. The chamber within is small and round, and taller than it has any right to be. The walls are veined with living gold, threads running up and up until they are too thin to see, until you are sure they have left the wall and wound themselves into your thoughts. In the center stands a figure without edges a heat, haze shaped like a person, features suggested by the harm they do to the light behind them. You will know, without words, that you should not kneel. You will kneel anyway. The floor is warm. The warmth climbs your shins, your spine, the ladder of your ribs. The figure does not move. When it speaks, the voice is the chime of a glass struck in another room. The note entering you before your ears can pretend they heard it. You seek an end, it says, and each word weighs a season. There are only kinds of continuance. You will open your mouth. You will mean to say, I want to live. What comes out is, I want to stop. Something like a hand. No, the memory of being held touches your brow. Behind your eyes, doors you did not build swing wide. Smoke rushes through. Names flee. Your first kill, your first fall. The way the morning smelled the day. You chose the road instead of the river. All of it becomes thin enough to see through, then thin enough to lose. You stand. You do not remember standing. Around you, the chamber has changed. Or you have. The gold is duller. The air is older. The heat remains. In the far wall, a slit has appeared, no wider than a shoulder. The edges slick with sap that glows as if it remembers sunlight. Beyond the slit, stairs go down. The first step is not yours. You borrow it. The second as well, the third. By the fourth, your feet have learned a different rhythm, one that matches the pulse in the stone. You descend. The stairs end on a ledge above a gulf where root and river argue about which one gets to be the world. Below, something moves with the slow pride of mountains. You do not see it. You see the way the air bends around it. You see the space it refuses to share. A bridge spins out to meet you. It is narrow and made of nothing you would trust. interlaced branches, each one grown to meet the next, each one stained with the dark lacquer of old blood. Halfway across, you stop. Not because you choose to, because the bridge remembers a name you cannot recall and decides you do not deserve to cross with it. On the far side, a door waits. You know this door. You have never seen it. When it opens, wind spills out, dry and laughing. The chamber beyond is a throat of stone that leads up and up until it ends in a mouth ruined by fire. Ash coats the floor, layered fine as snow. In it, footprints are pressed, yours, going in. None, coming out. You follow yourself. At the center lies an altar, if altar is the right word for a flat of rock worn smooth by knees and vows. On it rests a sigil burned into the grain, a brand of spirals that refuse to end. The heat that rises from it is not the heat of fire. It is the heat of decision, held too long. Your hand hovers. The air trembles. If you touch it, this will all become easier. Not better. Easier. A whisper coils from the corners where sight fails. It speaks every language you might have learned, and some you did not. Less pain, less doubt, less weight. The promise smells like new bread and summer rain, and the day before you were first wounded. It is a lie. That is what makes it perfect. You pull your hand back. Or you think you do. The brand's light swells, sighs, fades. The ash stirs as if breath passed over it. Somewhere, very far away and very near, bells begin to ring again. Not many, just enough. You step away from the altar. The footsteps in the ash multiply. One set, then two, then three, each angled a little different, each yours. They spread out until the floor is a map of roads you did not take. Every one of them ends at the door. The door is still open. The wind is still laughing. You leave. The bridge accepts you this time. The ledge, the stairs, the slit, the chamber with its dull gold. The root, door size closed behind you like a book, deciding not to be read again. The city of star stone waits, serene and impossible, as if your absence had always been the planet followed. You climb until the blue light thins to gray. You climb until the gray yields to gold. You climb until there is no more climbing, and you are once again beneath a sky that is not a sky, before a tree that is not a tree, carrying a name that the air pronounced before you were born. Welcome back, tarnished. This is where the day ends, not with victory. With the understanding that you were never meant to last. You will shoulder your weapon like a memory. You are tired of carrying. You will look toward the staircase and the thorns that bar it. You will hear, faintly, the voice that learned your name and taught it how to hurt. You will take a step anyway. And somewhere in the lands between, something that watches everything smiles. Because even here, even now, the story moves the way it always does forward, into the teeth of what waits. You wanted to know why you wouldn't last a day. Listen to the ground. It is already writing you down.